You know what we want to talk about, Rick?
No, I'm kidding.
So how did it feel, man? So we were down there, the whole show, we were down at the home opener, and the energy was tremendous. And when they introduced you and the crowd went crazy, how'd that feel for you, brother?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's a place I love to play in. It's an area I lived about 20-something years, so I know the area really well. Obviously the Flyer fans are a great fan base, and we got to give them something to cheer about. Obviously, Florida being in there really helps too. That's Stanley Cup champs, right, back to back. So it was pretty electric, and it was a nice game for us to go against that team.
Yeah, Rick, something stood out to me the other night. I'm watching Coots at center ice, and his aggressiveness and almost like intensity level seemed extremely high for this game. Is that something that you're instilling in your players?
Yeah, I feel like if you look at Coots, he really led. I mean, I know people understand that what's leading. For me, he just does the right things. Even if the other two games, I thought he played well. He wanted to correct a couple of things in his game, and he did. And the guys followed. So yeah, he led the team, got some really good goaltending, got some contributions from almost everybody. I thought the penalty kill was good. Flores, they got 5 penalties. We had 5 penalties. They only had the 1 goal. So there was a lot of small moments that led to that big moment when Coots put it in with us 4 minutes left.
Yeah, it was really good to see the captain getting going like that. Let's talk about a new addition, Trevor Zegras, because on one of Couturier's goals, that was such a sweet assist for Zegras from behind the net. I mean, what have you seen from him early so far this season?
Yeah, he's just chipping out of his game. He's had a couple off years, some injuries. He wants to reestablish himself. And I think that's a goal where, that's why we acquired him. He knew he was going to take a hit. Actually, 2 guys kind of crunched him, and he waited for about a second for the play to open up, and then obviously that's a high-level play, right? That's a big moment play with 4 minutes left. So, yeah, he took a hit to make a play. I mean, that's hard to do sometimes because sometimes you rush it because you know you're going to get hit, and I felt he knew he was going to get hit, and he made a hell of a play.
Yeah, one thing that's been missing from this team for sure in the last long time has been goaltending. And I got to tell you, watching Daniel Vladar the other night was pretty impressive. What are your thoughts on your goaltending?
Yeah, he looked real big. Him and Harrison, I think we've got some quality starts by both of them. We're really, the defensive system, it's going to take some time, but, we're trying to give the shots outside. I mean, it's always hard to do, but if the goalies can see the puck, we really want to box out this year. We really, there's a shot blocking ability sometimes to do it, but then sometimes I'd rather see the D just box people out and let the goalies see the shot. And I think so far, it's been a mixed bag sometimes in D-zone because it's the hardest thing to teach when you have different systems. But I think the guys have grasped it each game, getting better and better.
We're talking to Flyers head coach Rick Tocchet on the Comcast Business Hotline. Rick, so before you came on, I was talking to Jason Bertidis, who does a lot of the Flyers games here on the Fanatic, and we were talking about how throughout your career, you have been around so many of the greatest players to ever play the game. Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, how do you identify kind of those intangibles where this guy is going to grow into being a tremendous star in this league?
Yeah, there's just little things that you see, seeing like the play like 2 steps ahead. I mean, that's what his gift is. He'll see something that some guys don't see. And you have to let those type of guys be creative. So, yeah, that's a luxury that he'll grow into even more. The Gretzky's and Lemieux were, they just, when a team played this defense against them, they would do something else to counteract. That's what the good players do, the great players do. They counteract. I mean, listen, they're going to game plan. Your best players are going to get game planned against. So sometimes you got to help. You got to help them, obviously, with different game plans and different situations. Put them in situations where they're going against maybe the weakness of the other team. So that's my job, to get those guys in better positions to take advantage of their skill.
It's interesting. You played with some of the greatest of all time. And I mean, from Lemieux and Gretzky and on and on and on. What have you taken from them on how to win into this team?
Yeah, I think with those guys, I can name the Crosbys of the world. Like, they don't you never know if you're behind or ahead. They're got a common influence to their teammates. You know, if your leaders are getting panicky out there and they're getting stressed, the team does. You know, they have a common influence. Doesn't matter what the score or what time of the game is. They have the same demeanor, and it's a confident demeanor in the structure and the way, you know, the identity of the team. They stay in character and obviously big moments, right? That's what you're looking for those guys. You know, when the game's on the line, when there's a time to make a play, those guys somehow reach down and they make those plays. That's their gift.
All right, Rick, you were never one to shy away from dropping the gloves on the ice. And you know, Philadelphia fans, we love a good tilt every once in a while. We going to see some fights this year, you think? I mean, what's your approach to that?
You know what? You know, if it happens organically, great. You know, sometimes they listen. You know, teams making a press, and you want to be aggressive, and that's usually when it happens, when the other team doesn't like when you're aggressive, or vice versa. If it happens organically, I'm all for it. I think the fans love it, but you know, I'm not a coach to tell people to fight. Those days are over. It just happens organically, and we want a team that protects each other. You know, like you saw the other night, Travis Konecny got hit from behind. And if you look, Michkov goes in there to protect his teammate. I mean, that's a good thing. I thought that was great, especially early in the season. And it kind of rallied our team. I thought our team started to play even better against Carolina, who was a really good hockey team, after that happened. So, yeah, there's a time and place for it. You just got to be careful you don't take, you know, too many stupid penalties and give the other team advantage. But there's a time and place for it. And usually the aggressive penalties you kill off. It's usually the hooking penalties, the non-aggressive penalties where the other team scores power play goals on you.
Explain to us, we know your fire as a player, but as a coach, like, what is the fire burning on the bench for you?
Well, I mean, listen, I want to be part of the solution here, right, to turn this thing around. So the fire in me is every day, you know, bring a winning environment to the team. You know, I assemble as a coaching staff that are really good, that every day are teachers, right? They're teaching the players, you know, certain things, how to handle with pressure, or, you know, power play or penalty kill or a 4-on-4 situation. So you're always giving information, and you're making your team prepared for those situations. And the fire in me is, I mean, you saw the crowd last night, how loud it was. I mean, can we continue that, where we're going to have them cheer us in, and hopefully down the road there is a playoff appearance where that crowd will intensify even more. You know, there's nothing better than playoff hockey, but we got a long way to go. And opening up was a small part of going in the right direction.
Yeah, playoff hockey would be awesome, right? Oh. Playoff hockey would be awesome. I got
counting on you, Toc. Counting on you.
I got one more for you. So you've been away from the Northeast for a little while. I mean, you were in Vancouver, you were in Arizona. I mean, it's got to feel good to get back here with the good food. Am I right? I mean, a little Italian food. It's better here, isn't it?
I mean, the Philly food, the cuisine here is unreal. I mean, you know, I haven't had a good cheesesteak in a while. I mean, the pizzas, obviously. I'm actually kind of watching myself. I cheat once in a while, but there's some great restaurants around town. I live downtown. But just the overall, like, the fans and the sports in this city. I mean, everybody buzzes. You know, it's 24/7 sports, right? And that's who I am. You know, good or bad, you're in the fire. And there's nothing better than being a pressure cooker. Who wants to play for nothing? I mean, when there's nothing on the line, who really cares? I think, you know, pressure is good. You know, pressure makes good players, great coaches, and great teams. So, you know, you got to welcome the pressure, and you got to be prepared for the pressure.
All right, now go beat the Jets.
Yeah, let's keep it going, man. Let's keep it going. Well, we appreciate the time. Hopefully we'll be talking to you a lot throughout the season, leading us all the way back to playoff hockey. All right? Let's make it happen.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for the support, and we'll talk to you guys again.
Absolutely. There he is. Nice. Flyers head coach, Rick Tocchet.
Light the lamp.
What's up, everybody? It's Bill Colarulo from Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we post a ton of content. It's not just what you hear on air. We're posting content all day long. We do some things before the show, after the show, even stuff during the show. So subscribe, like, do whatever you got to do. We got all this content coming to you every single day.